Greetings, fellow maker. You've got Bill in the shop today and Brittany behind the camera. Doing her thing, making me look good. Dragon Con is upon us. In fact, we fly out in just 2 days. We still have one more prop to make for our costume. We're doing a group costume with some friends. We're doing the TGRI scientist from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. We have our TGRI branded jumpsuits. We've got our hard hats ready to go. We have our badges, which I showed you how to make in our last video. We even have Ooze canisters made by my clever and handsome twin brother, Rob. Thank you, Rob. These are fantastic. They are also water bottles to keep us hydrated during the event. And we have, for our dandelion, we're making a giant dandelion, we've got a pile of foam. We've got some PVC pipe and foam ready to go because we are going to make the giant mutated dandelion from TMNT 2. Let's get started. I'm just prepping the foam here. They staple these things, these tags on, and it sure would be great if they stapled them just a little closer to the corner, not like so far in. This is the foam I'm going to use for the flower petals. It's already yellow, and I'm planning on cutting these out on my laser cutter. So I want to measure the dimensions. We're at 1 foot by 18 inches, which is perfect because my laser is 1 foot by 20 inches, almost exactly the same size. So I can put a full sheet in there and cut out a few rows of, our printer had a few things, the 3D printer sitting right there, has a few things to say. Anyway, this will fit perfectly in the laser cutter. We can use the full size of it. Okay, I drew a really quick pattern here for our petals. We're going to cut them out in strips and kind of roll them into the petal shape. And I have 2 of them here, top to bottom, that'll fit on a single sheet, and we can just send it to laser and cut them out. Setting up the laser.
Fire it up, fire it up.
Fire it up, fire it up. The laser is cutting out a bunch of petals for us, and while it's doing that, I'm going to make something else. If I look at the reference image here, the petals look like they're a little wavy, and I think we can make the foam look like that if we heat it and clamp it in between some sort of form. I'm going to make that form out of this piece of wood. I'll cut it in half, but I'm going to add sort of a wave shape here, and then put a hinge on it so that it can clamshell closed in the same place. We'll just go cut this out on the bandsaw. Got my form cut out. My bandsaw was not happy about that. If I had MDF, I probably would have used that instead, and a thinner blade would have been nice. For the hinge, I'm going to put some foam in here to use as a little bit of an offset, and then figure out where this little hinge is going to get screwed in. Okay, and then we're going to pre-drill the holes for the screws. And I've got these adorable little screws. And an even more adorable little screwdriver. Not the most elegant bit of woodworking, but it'll do the trick. So now when we put our foam petals in there, we can squish it down and it should be nice and consistent. Let's go get our petals. Way to go, laser. Shop MVP. I did some testing with my clamp system here, and it's okay. I think we're going to run with it just because we don't have a lot of time. But you could 3D print something like this, probably. Or if you use a different material, maybe a thinner blade on the bandsaw to get a more dramatic wave on here, I think that would go a little better. But let me show you how this works. Got my heat gun ready to go. I have a popsicle stick to hold it down. When you heat these, they tend to want to curl up. So the popsicle stick will hold that down. And then we clamp it, hold it for a couple seconds, And there we go, we've got a little bit of a texture there. And then we move it down and keep this crazy train rolling. Okay.
Beautiful.
We got a bunch of petals cut out and stamped here. Speaking of stamping, we do have some 3D printed stamps for sale on our website if you want to go try those out. Those are really cool for adding texture to various stuff. For this one, I'm going to hot glue and roll this up. And I think I want to roll it on an angle in that direction so that the center is a little taller than the outside. I think that's going to be the plan. Here goes nothing. Actually, the hot glue gun is still, it's not quite hot enough yet. There we go. We're just gonna roll this up, I guess. I don't know, this is the first time I've made a giant mutant dandelion. Everything's an experiment.
Kind of looks like a bunch of Muppet hands. Kermit, no!
Yay! All right, let's glue another one on. And keep on rolling. So the last strip that I have here, this is probably enough. The middle is definitely a lot taller. It was a little extreme on some of these rolls here, but I've sort of flattened it out as we get down to the bottom so that I have a little bit thicker of a lip here because I'm going to glue this down to something later. I think there's a lot of parts of this project where I just have to roll with how it's turning out because we don't have a lot of time.
I think it's going to look great.
That's why I love you. Roll that up. Looking good. For the base of this, I'm going to use a thick piece of foam. If you don't have a piece of foam this thick, you can always just laminate a few layers together. We're just going to draw the outline of this and cut it out. I will also have to cut a hole for our stem, which is going to be this PVC pipe. And I think I'll drill that with a sharp pipe or a Forstner bit. Let's go, actually I'll hack this hunk off first and then we'll take this to the bandsaw to cut out the circle. This giant thick piece of foam we've had for years and I just hack a chunk of it off whenever I need it. There we go. There we go, that is the right size. That is so snug, perfect. And then this will get glued right down to it. More of our hot glue. All right, and that was a lot of hot glue. We better let that cool off all the way. The bottom of this base I want to be curved a bit, and we'll go hit it on the belt sander, but first I'm just gonna hack away some pieces so we don't turn this all into dust.
You're whittling.
I am. These fancy sharp knives, by the way, available at punishprops.com. I use them every day. I have several of them spread throughout the shop for various uses. There we go, nice and smooth there. Nice smooth transition to the stem, which needs a slight curve. So I'm gonna hit it with a heat gun and bend it just a little bit. There we go. We have a little bit of a curve there, make it a little bit more like a stem.
It's a mace.
Ha! A French fry mace. All right, next we will bend our petals down.
Look at that.
This is working easier than I thought it would. I do wish these overlapped a little bit more. I really don't like how the middle looks. It's like this stalk up the middle of it.
It's almost like corn.
Well, this is not how I pictured it turning out. I think that instead of being taller in the middle, it should actually be shorter. It should be the opposite. The middle pieces should be sticking up and just sort of each layer goes out a little bit more. We definitely don't have time to go get more foam and do this again. So here's what I think I want to try. I think I want to cut the yellow pieces off of the base and see if I can use the heat gun to unwrap it, undo all that hot glue, and then roll it up again. We're going to give that a try, and we're going to cross our fingers. All of our fingers and toes. Prep for surgery. Whew, got there.
Did it.
Without burning myself. Okay, we are reset and our petals have so much character now. Gonna roll it up, but instead of rolling it in this direction, we're gonna roll it in that direction so that the center petals end up shorter. That's the plan. Sure, I'm glad we have a lot of hot glue. Okay, back to where we were about a half an hour ago. And I think that's what we want.
That looks so much better.
I think we're good. Now I need to hack this off and glue stuff so that it doesn't fall out. And you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to a brand new fresh blade.
Ooh, so shiny.
Sometimes you just gotta treat yourself.
Your blade's like, I didn't sign up for
Yeah.
this. Ah!
There we go. And now we don't want those getting away, so we are going to hot glue them. That's the less than 2 days to go before the con technique. A ton of hot glue and then slam this down. That's the mantra. Things are looking better here. I had to jam some more hot glue down here to keep these petals from falling out, but we're good. This can go on here, and now I think I can try and fold all the petals out again, which is fun. Yeah, this is more like what I had in my head. This bunch in the middle all kind of ended up in the same direction, so Britt had the idea that we should split some of them into thinner petals, and so that maybe we can get them to go in different directions. There we go. That was more like the vision I had in my head. I think that looks pretty good.
It looks cute.
Yeah. Along with the petals, there are these little curly-Q things sticking out of there, so we're going to make those out of more foam, of course. And we'll do that by cutting some thin strips out of the same stuff. And this is just 2mm craft foam that we got from, I think we got this from Joann's, but all craft stores have this kind of stuff. Random lengths. To make our curly-Q, we're just going to wrap this around a pipe and then hit it with a heat gun. And it really doesn't take much because it is very thin. There we go. A little hot glue and a little curly-Q. And we'll just press that in there. There we go. Boy, do I feel a lot better about this than I did an hour ago. It is time to attach this permanently. I'm gonna just throw a tiny bit of hot glue. It's not gonna need much. Although this thing has turned into about 50% hot glue. There we go. That's in there forever. Then we're gonna cover this with some of this green foam. Like that. And then we're gonna make some green leafy bits. Boy, that is very green, isn't it? We're gonna have to put a little paint on this, I think. All right, we're just going a little freestyle with this. Because that's gone so great so far today. And I'm just gonna wrap this on there, and there will be like an angled seam, but we're gonna live with that. This thing is already covered in rustic charm, so we're just gonna lean into it. I am so excited for Dragon Con. People are already driving there right now. Adam Savage is going to be there. All our friends are going to be there.
Gonna be a lot of really cool costumes.
So many cool costumes. So many inspiring costumes.
I hope we find Ninja Turtle costumes.
Yeah. Other people who have put a lot more effort into their Ninja Turtle costumes we can hang out with. My brother's going to be there. His wife's going to be there. Some of our very best friends from school, from college, are going to be there. So we're pumped. We are so excited for this year's Dragon Con. We're always excited for Dragon Con, but this year feels like it's going to be special. thicker than I want it to be, but I think we're just gonna have to live with it. Okay, we're making the green petals or leaves or whatever they are. Made a quick pattern out of cardboard. So we can make a few copies. Okay, we'll start with that. And they certainly don't have to be perfect because they're meant to look organic and natural. And those will go like that.
Cool.
More hot glue. The name of the game today, more hot glue. The top of it's going to be just sort of folded back like that. We'll just clamp it with our hand clamps. Just going to hit this with a little heat to get these to bend back a little bit. Just a little bit. Time for a little paint. This is a little cartoony. It's a lot cartoony. I think a little paint will get it closer to looking like it's from the movie, and a little bit more like a real and actual dandelion. So I'm going to go with a light green on the stem parts. So I've got this green. I'm going to mix a little light, what is this, white-ish gray to it. There we go. Okay, I've got my paint. I have a chip brush here. I'm not looking for total coverage because we already have green on there. So I'm just going to, you know what, I think if I wet this down just a touch, a little less thick. There we go, and then we can leave streaks and it'll kind of look like the way a stem looks. Now we've got this like really warm yellow. We're going to kind of just dry brush the edges of the petals here to give it just a little bit of contrast, a little something else going on there. Let's see how this looks. We might want to go lighter, but we'll give it a little bit. I think I want to just mix some white in with that, so the edges are lighter. There we go. Oh, I touched the green. Yeah, just a hit of lighter yellow on the tips of all our petals here. Just getting the tips of everything up here. Nice. That is a wrap on our giant mutant dandelion build. It took us about 3 hours. It's all made out of foam and it was really fun to put together. And it was really fun to bring to Dragon Con. In fact, we've already been there. It was so much fun the whole weekend. Our TGRI costumes were a hit. Way more people recognized them than I thought would, which is always very satisfying. We saw lots of other cosplayers there. We put together a cosplay music video, which was really fun. And we also ran into another TGRI cosplayer. So we had a group of 7 of us, along with me and Britt and a bunch of our other friends. So we had a huge group of orange jumpsuits, which was great. We saw a shredder, which was really fun. We also saw a Michelangelo, a really legit Michelangelo mutant turtle costume. We got photos with all of them and it was tons and tons of fun. There you go. What a ridiculous and fun build. Thanks so much for following along. It's been a pleasure having you here. Thanks so much to the support of our Extra Credit Club, the folks who keep us employed. You can join if you'd like to get early access to all of our videos over on Patreon or right here in YouTube memberships. That'll do it for me today. Cowabunga, man. See you in the next build. Dragon Con is upon us. And I'm going to do that one more time. Starting with bloopers.
Windows needs our help.
Oh! Realize I don't have to yell across the shop because I'm mic'd and you have headphones on.
Yeah.
I have to sneeze. Well, now I don't have to sneeze. All right, I'm good. Not quite hot enough yet.
Butterfly. It's after the flower.
Oh.
Yeah.